Jai Sri Ramanuj. Jai Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Sri Ramanuj Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Narayan. I want to welcome all of you to our weekly local satsang at the Kampara Conference Center in Clare Estate, Durban. I want to welcome those of you that are watching on live feed, locally, nationally, and abroad. And I want to welcome those of you that's going to be watching this discourse after it has been posted to the various groups around the world. As I state that I come from a lineage of bona fide spiritual masters, and when traced backwards, we'll find my Guru, Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. In the middle, we'll find Lord Sri Ramanuj, and the very first Guru on this material earth, Nara Narayan. Lord Narayan incarnates as Nara Narayan, and he sets the regulative principles in motion. The topic for discussion tonight is transcendental knowledge is not researched, it is revealed. And it is revealed in proportion to pure consciousness. Transcendental knowledge is revealed in proportion to pure consciousness. Vaishnavite Gurus are spiritual scientists, and spiritual scientists are hard to be understood by those in mixed consciousness and contaminated consciousness. And this results in the divisions of satsang. So I want to explain, and I don't want to go too far. I want to keep it at home, at my Guruji's house, Sri Siddhartha Ashram, Faridabad, India. So like myself, Guruji started his satsangs in very humble beginnings. He obtained 8 acres of land in Faridabad, Haryana, in India. It was with some problems, and ultimately he concluded his mission. Right now, I am in my fledgling state, and when Guruji was in his fledgling state, he also experienced the similar problems that I am experiencing now. And it gives me great confidence that my own spiritual master went through the same filth that I am going through now. Gives me great confidence. And it even gives me greater confidence when our Adi Guru, Lord Sri Ramanuj himself, went through similar filth from non-divine humans that were associated and not associated with him. So this tradition and this perception that ashrams are ideal places and certain behavior in ashram is not allowed, that ashramites, those people that attend satsang, are very, very high and divine. They are misplaced concepts. They are misplaced concepts. Attending a satsang in an ashram doesn't change you. You do not become someone very high and mighty. When you attend satsang, it means you came for 4 reasons. You came because you had an economic problem. You came because you had a psychological problem. You came because you was inquisitive, and you came because you want to get liberated. These are 4 categories in which one attends satsang. And all these 4 categories are deemed to be pious. Nowhere in these 4 categories is the perfect person mentioned. Nowhere in these 4 categories is the perfect person mentioned. So it does not mean that if you belong to an ashram, then you're a perfect person. Starting from here, if you came for economic development, and if you achieved your economic development, and if you did not follow it with religious principles, if you did not guide yourself morally through the economic development that you gained from this institution, then you are not going to be successful, because economic development is linked to religious principles. And this is when opportunist devotees that cannot sustain themselves any longer, they break away from ashrams. They break away from satsangs. And this is a norm around the world. And this has happened in the satsang of my great Guru Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I am his only bona fide disciple in South Africa. When he was in my stage, giving discourses, blessing people, and starting his own flock in Faridabad. And when we say flock, the word flock is related to a flock of sheep. So when he was cultivating his flock in Faridabad, some wolves came in sheep's clothing. And similarly here in South Africa, when I have my own flock. We hope it is sheep, but from every 20 sheep that I presume, after a year or two, I see the wolf emanating from the sheep's clothing. Okay? So I'm going through the similar symptoms of my great Guru, Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. So one wolf in sheep's clothing came with a begging bowl to my great Guru. One wolf in sheep's clothing. These wolves really know how to beg as a sheep. Okay? They are bona fide beggars. They are bona fide beggars. They come with a begging bowl. So one of these wolves in sheep's clothing came to Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj with a begging bowl, and he began begging. Alright? And he begged to become a high-ranking politician in that area, Haryana. And Guruji told him, please, why don't you start as a counselor? Start from a counselor and then work your way up. And this wolf in sheep's clothing, he would not take Guruji's advice. He said, Guruji, please, give me this high-ranking post. I promise you, I will be your most loyal member. And he continued begging Guruji until Guruji submitted. But when Guruji submitted, Guruji told him, one day you're going to come after me. Guruji told him, one day you're going to come after me. And I want, especially my local devotees, to pay careful attention to this discourse and see the similarities between Guru and disciple. Work it out, and when you leave tonight, you'll have an understanding of all the problems that an ashram goes through, because it is its inherent nature to go through problems. It is its inherent nature to go through problems. Okay? So Guruji said, one day you're going to come to close me down. And Acharyaji also had his wolf. Okay? Shark, wolf. Alright? And Acharyaji also warned this wolf and also told this wolf, dressed in a shark's body. And I have on record over 3 or 4 times, I told this wolf, one day you're going to break away from this satsang, you're going to go in your garage, you're going to have a meeting in your garage, and you're going to try to break this organization. I told him over 3 times, and I have on record. And exactly as I predicted, wolf shark, wolfie, he did what I predicted. But 6 months prior to me stating, he stated, Acharyaji, I'll never ever do that. He came, he washed the Guru's feet, he drank the feet, washed water of the Guru, he sprinkled it over his head, and he used to take it whole week to be successful. Alright? So, this wolf, shark, but let's go to Guruji. Let's see the similarities. Alright? The result will be the same. Okay? Result will be the same. I am a spiritual DNA of my spiritual master. That's how the disciplic succession works. Alright? And I have disciples who have my DNA. But I'll explain that as we move on. So, this man got his position in government. And he found out that the demarcation on which the fence was built was wrong. Whose fence? Guruji's fence. Who gave him the job? Guruji gave him the job. Whose food gave him energy? Guruji's food gave him energy. Whose food gave him intellect? Guruji's food gave him energy, intellect, power, everything. He used Guruji's resources and he came to demolish Guruji's ashram. So whilst Guruji was in the Maha Kumbh Mela, he got a report that an equipment was demolishing his building, his fence. And Guruji was busy. Kumbh Mela takes a while, a couple of days. So, Guruji spoke to Lord Narayan, and Lord Narayan lives in the heart of every living entity and non-living entity. So what do you think Lord Narayan did in that living entity that was breaking down the building? He made him take out all his clothes and run for 3 days in a mental state around the ashram. Can you imagine that scene? Clothes out and running around the perimeter of the ashram for 3 days. What do you think is going to happen to those wolves and sharks? Everything has a limit. Everything has a limit. This is the material world. And everything in the material world has a beginning, has a middle, if your actions are divine, you'll be happy in the beginning, you'll be happy in the middle, and you'll be happy at the end. If your transactions are non-divine, you'll be happy in the beginning, you'll be very happy in the middle, you'll be extremely traumatized at the end. At the end, you'll think why you began. At the end, you'll think why you began. That fleeting happiness of the middle will dissipate. There will be no joy. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolute. The truth is absolute. No matter how you can manipulate the truth. For a non-divine, untruth is truth. Falsity is truth. Filth is cleanliness. Alright? Excreta is delicious, sumptuous food. You understand? For the non-divine, they live in the opposite of the absolute. And it has been proven since time immemorial. Ravana was happy in the beginning, very happy in the middle, absolutely traumatized in the end. Hiranyakasipu was happy in the beginning, very happy in the middle, extremely traumatized at the end. You all saw how his intestines were gorged out. So, attacking ashrams, attacking gurus, trying to bring gurus down is not unique to the Acharya Ramanuj Foundation. It is there since time immemorial. Because I stated in the beginning, transcendental knowledge is revealed, not researched. Transcendental knowledge is revealed, not researched, which means, and I also stated that it is revealed in proportion to the purification of your consciousness. So if you have greed, if you have anger, if you have pride, if you have envy, if you have lust, transcendental knowledge will never penetrate you. You can sit here for the next 1,000 years. Because as I said, transcendental knowledge is revealed in proportion to pure consciousness. And this is why people find it very difficult to be in this satsang. But I want to now just delve into revealed knowledge. Revealed knowledge is the constitutional basis of Vedic knowledge that is practiced in Sanatana Dharma. Okay? Revealed knowledge is the source of the Vedas. Revealed knowledge is the absolute source of the Vedas. Knowledge is and was revealed to the great seers and sages since time immemorial. God manifested himself and gave knowledge since time immemorial to sages, saints, and seers. What is the quality of saints, sages, and seers? Do they have anger? Do they have greed? Do they have lust? Do they have pride? Do they eat meat? Do they do goat prayers in the forest? Do they drink? Do they smoke marijuana? No. So to reveal transcendental knowledge within yourself, you have to be extremely, extremely, extremely purified. And these sages, saints, and seers, God revealed to them all that is contained in this universe. And they revealed this to their disciples. And their disciples revealed this to their disciples until Vedavyas takes his birth. At the end of every Dwapara Yuga, beginning of Kali Yuga, Vedavyas takes his birth and he collates all of this revealed knowledge and he puts them into writing in 4 books called these 4 Vedas. In 4 books called the 4 Vedas. So, somebody made a comment that my spiritual master passed on in 2007. I'm only claiming to be a guru from 2013. I never learned under my spiritual master. How can I be a guru? These people were in my satsang for 2 years. And I spent more 80% of my satsangs explaining the guru-disciple relationship. If this knowledge did not penetrate their minds, what do you think their consciousness was? Filthy. Because transcendental knowledge cannot be assimilated through filthy consciousness. Transcendental knowledge cannot be assimilated through filthy consciousness. That is why when you join a guru asks you, and I'm saying a Vaishnavite guru, a bona fide Vaishnavite Guru will ask you to start leaving your vices. Because as your vices leave you, knowledge gets planted within you. It is an automatic process. So I am living proof of this Vedic injunction. I did not go to any Gurukul. I was initiated in 2013. It is only 5 years. Where did I get this knowledge from? How can I attain Vedic knowledge? How can I attain Vedic knowledge? Can I by heart the Vedas in 5 years? And if you go, I have given over 800 discourses from the time I started satsang 5 years ago. All my discourses are of this nature. I do not read. I'm not reading. How do I give you these discourses which are Vedic injunctions, without being born in India, without knowing Sanskrit, and without having, as they say, my Guru passed away long before I became a Guru. How is it possible if it is not a Vedic injunction? Vedic injunctions are absolute. The disciplic succession is absolute. And if these people that make these remarks, if they investigate, they will find that thousands of gurus exist as I exist. Even our Adi Guru, Ramanuj Acharya, only met his Guru at his deathbed. Sri Ramanuja met his Guru, Ramanuj Acharya, at his deathbed. So you do not need a Guru to teach you in a classroom like our material world to have transcendental or spiritual knowledge. You need to purify your existence, because there is no difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that knowledge that He has given in the Vedas. It is God manifesting as knowledge. Knowledge is a manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this manifestation cannot be assimilated if you are under drugs, alcohol, meat, anger, hatred, jealousy, gambling. If you do all of these things, this knowledge would not permeate you. So my advice would be to anybody, before you take on any particular system, you must research that system. Take your time and research that system, find the truth about that system, and then go and attack that system. So I, through a bona fide system, have accepted disciples. in this satsang. Many of them have transcendental knowledge. And they are transmitting this transcendental knowledge in a very, very short time to the world. They are transmitting this transcendental knowledge in a very, very short time to the world. And they include high-profile people with quite a few degrees, scientists, they are analysts. And this knowledge can be available to anybody. This satsang is to give you transcendental knowledge. If you come here for any other reason, then you won't be successful. If you come to the satsang for transcendental knowledge, then you will be absolutely successful. I do not invite anyone to the satsang. Whoever comes to the satsang, they come on their own free will. I am not obligated in any way to anyone in this satsang. I have no obligations to anybody in this satsang other than to give them spiritual knowledge. Those devotees that are in good standing can get the grace of this system. When you leave, you are not the Acharya Sri Ramanuj Foundation. When you leave, you have no right to even one atom of this foundation. This foundation was given to me by my Guru. I earned this foundation through this lifetime and hundreds of lifetimes. No devotee has a share in this foundation. And when you leave as you came in. You came in as a non-shareholder and you leave as a non-shareholder. There is no reason for you to go out there and start attacking. Because there's a limit that a guru can take. And there's a limit God can take. And I think all three systems has reached the limit. So I was well prepared for my mission before I became a guru. 10 years military. Rest of my life, business. And law. And when I was involved in law, whether the cases were local or international, we won. Because the truth always wins. And it was my job to find all the inconsistencies and provide all the inconsistencies to the advocate or senior counsel. And it was their job to use the inconsistencies and win the case. You enjoying the discussion about that? Yes. We have a law student in our satsang. Alright? So we take the same legal background and use it in our scriptures. And it makes it easy to discern and understand the scriptural values. So when you're a policeman, then you mix and you meet a whole lot of policemen. And when you do legal work, you meet people in the legal system and in the justice system. And when you do government work, you meet people in all of these systems. And if you have been a good and a principled personality when you interacted with all of these systems, and when these systems learn that you are being abused, then what do you think is going to happen? So non-divine can only be happy in the beginning, very happy in the middle, and traumatized with excruciating pain in the entire 53 trillion cells that exist in the body. Nobody has defeated the absolute truth since time immemorial. Are there any questions? Any questions? This hall is silent.
Scared of you.
The Guru wants, and the Guru wants, and the Guru wants, and the Guru wants, and the Guru wants, right? And the Guru wants, please, you have a spade in your hand. Please, you dig in a hole. Please watch it. Your own spade is going to drop you in that hole. Then you fall in the hole. Then the Guru warns again. Please, you are now in that hole. You have a spade in your hand. Come out of that hole that you have fallen into by digging it yourself. But you cannot hear the Guru. Then the Guru warns, the hole that you dug, put the spade in your hand, now you are covering sand. So the sand starts covering your ankle, and the Guru has warned. Then the sand is at the knee level, and the Guru is warning, please, you are covering yourself. You have dug this hole, you have fallen into this hole. Now you have half covered yourself and you don't listen. And with the same spade, your own spade, in your own hand, you covering your own self. And now the sand is shoulder level. And the Guru warns again, please, you have a spade in your hand. The sand is now shoulder level. You are covering yourself. And now the sand is just below your nose. You're still not listening, and you're still covering, and just now you're going to be gone. Just now you're going to be gone. Unfortunately, this happens to all the people that try and take on divine systems. The Guru does not have to do anything. They must not blame the Guru for typing false things on the WhatsApp group. They must not say the Guru took the phone and typed self-incriminating evidence. Okay? They must not blame the Guru for anything. The Guru was fine. The same fingers in the beginning that attacked the Guru, in the middle that made the owners of the fingers very happy. Now, those fingers will have to start finding wallets and pulling out money. Because I asked the Vasan to put a post and explain that these types of cases are very, very expensive. I also sent that one. So as a Guru, I have cleared myself to the best of my ability and even more by 1,000,000 times. Nara Narayan.